Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel, your hub for everything physical media and entertainment. I am Ken, and today guys, I thought I would briefly talk about this whole French Connection situation that's going on right now, the censoring of the French Connection, and then we'll kind of talk a little bit about just, look, this is what we talk about all the time here on this channel, streaming versus owning physical media, the dangers of just relying on streaming versus actually owning the film in your collection. So we're going to dive into that a little bit today with this topic. So if you don't know, the French Connection, so this broke, I believe, either yesterday or the day before, but people started to notice that 10 seconds of the French Connection was edited out in the first 10 minutes of the film. And full disclosure, I have not seen the French Connection. I do own it in the collection. I bought it a few years ago, actually at Best Buy, with this exclusive slipcover for $6. Like, I remember it was very cheap. But the first 10 minutes of the film, I believe that Gene Hackman's character, Popeye Doyle is his name, uses a racial slur when he's talking to Roy Scheider's character in the film. And that's in the first 10 minutes of the movie, and they edited that out. Now, Disney owns this movie. Nobody's come out and said anything about this. Like, Disney hasn't made a statement. Like, nobody's made a statement about the editing of this film. Nobody said anything. This is people that were watching that had seen this movie so many times, and they noticed the jump, the 10-second jump that happens where the actual like scene and clip is edited out. So he uses a racial slur, and they took it upon themselves to edit that out of the film. Now, look, guys, I'm not condoning racial slurs of any kind. I'm not condoning that kind of language. Obviously, I don't use that kind of language in my real life. I'm not saying that that's good language to use, but in the context of a movie, in the context of a fictional character in a film, and that's the core part of his character. That's a character trait that tells you like who this guy is. That plays into the part of the story. You can't mess with that. I'm of the opinion that like censoring in movies like is just wrong any way you cut it. I don't care what it has in it. And this is a movie from 1971, guys. So this is a 52-year-old movie now that's being censored out. And I don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form. I don't care how offensive the material is. This is a movie, this is film, this is cinema, this is art. It deserves to be preserved in that way. So they edited out, and I'm going to go into the article. There's multiple articles online. Like, people are going nuts over this, guys, and it's good. And it points out, guys, it points out to everybody that owning physically, if you love a movie, is the way to go. And we've been saying that for years, guys, and this whole like move to streaming, and everybody's streaming and everybody's selling their collection off. And I own it digitally. Why do I need to own it physically? Well, they can come in and they can mess with your freaking movie, you know? So that's the whole point of owning the movie. Like, because yes, it's 10 seconds, guys. And I'm sure it doesn't affect the movie watching experience that much. You still have the incredible car chase sequence at the end of this movie, but it's just the precedent that sets. Like, if they think it's okay to come in and take 10 seconds out of a movie, then they're going to think it's okay to come in later on and take 10 minutes out of a movie, 30 minutes out of a movie, every offensive line out of every movie ever made at some point. Like, what are they going to do to Django, directed by Quentin Tarantino? They're dropping M-bombs like every 5 seconds in that movie. Are they going to edit all those out? Like, where does it end when it comes to censorship and editing stuff? And I think that's where we have to take a stand, guys, and we got to push back against Disney, against whoever's doing this, because this was people noticing this on the Criterion channel. So I don't know if Criterion channel is responsible for this. I believe on Vudu as well, if you buy this, they're pushing the censored version. I don't think this is on Disney Plus or anything like that. Maybe it is in Canada. I'm not exactly sure, but it's also on the Turner Classic channel where it's edited out. As well, Apple TV, people are noticing that it's edited out. So this censored version like is going around, and they did it very recently. So yeah, people are starting to notice this, and I'm going to read this article right here to kind of dive a little bit deeper into this topic. But before I do that, guys, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We talk about, look, we care about movies on this channel. We care about them so much that we want to own them physically in our collection, have them, hold them, protect them from people coming in and taking our favorite scenes out of them, because that's what's at stake here, guys, at this point. So If you were into that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. Or maybe you don't collect physical media at all. Maybe you stumbled upon this video because you heard about the story and wanted to learn a little bit more about it. If you don't collect physically, if you're not into physical media, maybe now's the time to get started a little bit. I'm not saying get a collection like this. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying go out and buy thousands of movies. But the movies that you love, you should own in your collection. So if you want to learn more about that, hit the subscribe button. Also hit the like button, and then, leave me a comment down below what you think about this whole situation. I know people got thoughts on this, so let me know that in the comment section below. So let me read this article right here. There's multiple places that are reporting this, but I'm on a website called The Independent. I think Joe Blow I also have up as well, but I'm going to read this article on The Independent. Film fans are expressing their fury after a scene in The French Connection was censored without explanation. Those watching William Friedkin's 1971 drama on U.S. streaming platform Criterion Channel. So again, we don't know who's to blame here. Is it the Criterion Channel? Is it Disney that forced them to do this? I don't know, because Disney's done this kind of stuff in the past. Like, that's what leads us to believe that it could be Disney. If anybody remembers the whole Splash thing where they edited out Daryl Hannah's butt out of the film on Disney Plus, if you remember that. Also Netflix, this was something that was very quick. Like, they very quickly fixed this, but in, I believe, 2020, they edited out the Ooh La La magazine out of Back to the Future Part 2, or Marty's holding that magazine. They edited that whole part out, and then they quickly added it back in when everybody started to freak out. So people have done this kind of stuff before. This is nothing new. Getting back into the article, those watching William Friedkin's 1971 drama on U.S. streaming platform Criterion Channel were left confused by a clunky edit, and I'm sure it's very obvious, during a scene roughly 10 minutes into the film. The sequence set in New York Police Precinct features a conversation between detectives Popeye Doyle, Gene Hackman, and buddy Cloudy Russo, Roy Scheider, in which the former utters a racial slur. So again, I don't know the context of this racial slur, but again, it's a character in a movie, guys. People do actually talk like that in real life. These are movie characters. We can't just gloss over that fact. And plus, it's a movie from 52 years ago as well. The 6-second sequence has been completely removed. So it was 6 seconds, not 10 seconds. Has been completely removed, and the edited version instead cuts to midway through the pair's conversation. Those who purchased digital copies of the film are rewatching the scene back and noticing that the copy they bought has also been amended to reflect the change. So that's the thing, guys. If you buy these digitally, it doesn't matter if you bought it before they edited it. They can change it. They can alter anything they want with that digital copy that you purchased. So you're purchasing these movies digitally. You're owning them digitally. You're streaming them. That sounds all well and good, right? You don't have the space for all this physical stuff, so you want to just own it all digitally. It sounds all well and good, right? They can come in and edit stuff. They can edit your favorite scene out for whatever reason, because stuff that people find offensive right now, okay, is pretty cut and dry. Obviously, the N-word's horrible, racial slurs horrible, all that kind of stuff. We don't like it. We don't want to hear it, right? I completely understand that. But what if there's something that we're saying now, or something that we're doing now that people find offensive in 20, 30 years, and they go in and start just editing out all kinds of scenes from our films to the point where they're not even movies that we love anymore. We don't even recognize these movies anymore because they edited them so much. Like, that's what's at stake here, and I think that's what everybody needs to take into account. It's not just that we need to have that N-word in our movie, or we need to have that racial slur in our movie to enjoy it, because that's really not the case. But it's just the precedent. It's the fact that they can come in and just manipulate and just change these movies that we've known our entire lives. And people are obviously, like, they've watched this movie so many times, they know that scene, they know what Gene Hackman says, and there's definitely a lot of different ways you can look at it, but it's just, I think it's wrong. At the end of the day, I just think it's wrong. It gets me fired up, guys. It gets me heated. All right, so continuing on with this article, Disney has been accused of censoring the film. The studio has owned the rights to The French Connection since its acquisition of Fox back in 2019. So Disney's the one being blamed here, but again, nobody's come out and said anything yet. However, the film remains unedited on Disney Plus in UK and Canada. So it is unedited still in Disney Plus in the UK and Canada. So that's kind of interesting that they haven't, because if it's on Disney Plus in Canada, they haven't censored it yet. So The Independent has contacted both Criterion Channel and Disney for comment. Film fans are expressing their anger at edits being made to a classic film without fanfare, or explanation. So I think the best way to handle this, guys, is not to edit the movies, but I know that HBO Max has done this with some of their movies. I believe Blazing Saddles they've done it with, but just put a disclaimer at the front. Just let people know that, hey, there's offensive language in this movie that you might find offensive. And then if you're easily offended, you can just say, okay, I'm not going to watch this movie. So, but it's what the issue is that people want to push all of their beliefs on other people, and the things that they get offended by, they think that everybody else should get offended by as well. So that's the big issue here. People can't just be like, okay, that offends me, I'm not going to watch it. If other people want to watch it, they can, but it offends me personally, I don't want to watch it. Which, you know, you're not wrong for saying something offends you, but it's when you want to push it upon everybody else, which is what they're doing right now. We find this offensive and everybody else should too, so we're going to take it out of the movie. That's when I start to have a problem. That's when I think we should all start to have a problem. Writer Sam Adams remarked, the uncensored French Connection should be the only one in circulation, whether on TV or in theater. So I guess that's the writer of the film. I don't think it's a stretch to say that Friedkin knew exactly what having his detective protagonist use it said about him. So yeah, that's him using that word. Well, and again, in the first 10 minutes of the movie, goes a long way in establishing that character and that personality and what you're supposed to think of him going forward in the film. So that's a character trait. It was 6 seconds, but that could change the entire dynamic of how you view that character for the rest of the film. Author Drew McWeeny added this, I'll go ahead and say it, this shit is insidious and their license gives them the right to alter it no matter what. That's the thing, guys. And another thing, like, we had this movie on Blu-ray, and I'm very thankful and fortunate to have this movie on Blu-ray, even though I haven't seen it. So here's the Blu-ray right now. I will say, guys, I would promote picking up this Blu-ray right now, but this has already taken effect of the sales of this movie. I think people are going out and picking this up. It's not available on Amazon right now. And on eBay, there are already people, of course, taking advantage of the situation. There are already people selling the French Connection for $73. There's somebody on here selling it for $350 on eBay. Do not pay these prices, guys. Do not pay these prices. Let's fight. Let's push back. Let's get them to fix this and bring it back to its original form. And then the price of that Blu-ray will go down. You can pick it up then when it's safe to do so. Do not go out and pick up this Blu-ray for $350. Do not do that, because I feel like they're going to make things right. I feel like there's enough of us out there that yell and scream, and we're loud enough. I feel like they're going to fix it like they did. Because there was a whole thing with Gone with the Wind when they took that off of HBO Max, and then everybody was trying to buy the Gone with the Wind Blu-ray. And then that whole thing went away, and then the Blu-ray went back down. So don't spend that crazy amount of money on this movie. But that tells you a lot about people and what they do and how they take advantage of these types of situations, for sure. But another thing I was going to say is that we would want this movie on 4K, right? It's a classic film. And of course, 20th Century Fox Disney owns it, so probably no future 4K on the horizon. But what if they keep that censored version in circulation, and then we do get a 4K for this movie, and the 4K that we get of this is of course in better quality, but it's the censored version, and that 6-second scene is taken out of it. Is that the kind of 4K upgrades that we want for films owned by Disney going forward, or anybody else for that matter? We start getting these upgrades that are now censored. That's the thing you got to start to worry about, guys, is yeah, you may be getting better quality, but they might start censoring and altering these movies. It's just a very... It's very scary times for movie fans, for fans of art and lovers of cinema at this time, guys. It really is. Like, people are just crazy right now. They really are. Film curator Alex Wohl pointed out that Scheider specifically said the scene resonated with the audience at the time, adding cultural context is an important part of media literacy. Historical revisionism is not the answer. I completely agree. So people are commenting on this all over the place. People are upset. But like I said, do not pay ridiculous prices for this Blu-ray right here. I feel like they're going to fix this. It's going to go back down to price again. I got this for $5, $6. I really feel like I need to watch this now. Now I did a whole video about this and the censoring of it. So I may actually end up watching this Blu-ray tonight. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's my thoughts on this whole, censorship thing. And guys, I mean, I hate to get up on a soapbox. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody because I collect movies physically. I'm not saying that the collector community is better because they own movies physically. You can watch streaming, but I feel like, look, if you love the French Connection, I feel like these movies that you love, if you're not a collector, if you're not into that sort of thing at all, the movies that you love and you want to worry and you don't want to worry about them changing, you need to buy them. You need to buy them. If that's 15 movies, if that's 20 movies, if that's 30 movies, if you end up having a very modest collection, you need to buy the movies that you love, that you don't want to see change, because who knows what the hell's going to happen in the next 50 years, guys? Who knows what's going to happen in the next 10 years? To be honest, the next 5 years, there's all kinds of stuff that could happen. This whole like thing, physical media thing, Blu-rays, 4Ks, I don't think it's going away anytime soon. I'm not, one of those people that thinks the death of physical media is on the horizon or anything like that. But who knows what's going to happen, guys. We have to protect these movies. We have to protect these films that we love at all costs. So thank you all so much for watching. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you haven't already, comment down below your thoughts on the situation. I know you guys got thoughts, so let me know what they are in that comment section below. Turn on the bell notifications and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.